What do you make of the other big player, China? They seem to have a very different, messed up, but also functioning system. They seem to be much better at encouraging entrepreneurs. They're choosing winners, but like, what do you make of the entire Chinese system? Uh, like, why does it work as well as it does currently? What are your concerns about it? And what are its threats to the United States or possible, it's what is it? You said like wisdom isn't when two ideas come together. Is
Yeah.
there some possible benefits of these kinds of ideas coming together?
It's amazing what China has done, but I would say to put it in perspective, if you compare them to Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Singapore, they've still done much worse.
Hmm.
Not even close.
Yes.
And that's both living standards or I hesitate to cite democracy as an unalloyed good in and of itself, but there's more freedom in all those other places
Yes.
by a lot. So China has all these problems of history, but they've managed, as actually the Soviets did in the middle of the 20th century, one of the two great mass migrations from the countryside to cities, which boosts productivity enormously and will sustain totalitarian systems. But they moved from a totalitarian system to an oligarchy
Hmm.
where the CCP is actually, at least for a while, have been really good at governing, have made a lot of very good decisions. You have to admit that. I don't know how long that streak will continue with one person so much now holding authority in a more extreme manner. The selection pressures for the next generation of high level CCP members
Hmm.
probably become much worse. You have this general problem of the state owned enterprise is losing relative productivity compared to the private sector. Well, we're going to kind of hold Jack Ma on this island and he can only issue like weird hello statements. It kind of smells bad to me. I don't feel that it's about to crash,
But
but
long
I don't
term,
see them supplanting America as like the world's number one country. I think they will muddle through and have very serious problems. But there's enough talent there, they will muddle through.
is there ideas from China or from anywhere in general of large scale role of government that you find might be useful? Like Andrew Yang recently ran on the platform UBI, right? Universal Basic Income. Is there some interesting ideas of large scale government sort of welfare programs at scale that you find interesting?
Well, keep in mind the current version of the Chinese Communist Party, post Mao, dismantled what was called the Iron Rice Bowl.
Mm.
So it took apart the healthcare protections, a lot of the welfare system, a lot of the guaranteed jobs. So the economic rise of China coincided with the weakening of
Mm.
welfare. I'm not saying that's causal per se, but people think of China as having a government that takes care of everyone. It's very far from the truth.
Mm.
And by a lot of metrics, I don't mean control over people's lives, I don't mean speech, but by a lot of metrics, economically, we have a lot more government than they do.
Mm.
So, what one means here by like government private control, I don't think you can just add up the numbers and get a simple answer. They've been fantastic at building infrastructure in cities in ways that will attract people from the countryside. And furthermore, they more or less enforce a meritocracy in this sense. Like if you're a kid of a rich guy, you'll get unfair privilege.
Mhm.
And that's unfair, but systems can afford that. If you are smart and from the countryside and your parents have nothing,
Mhm.
you will be elevated and sent to a very good school, graduate school, because of the exam system. And they do that and they mean that very consistently. It's like the Soviets had a version of that, like for
Yes.
chess and romantic piano, not for everything, but where they had it, like,
Yeah.
again, they were tremendous, right?
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah.
And
Oh, okay.
Chinese have it in so many areas, a genuine meritocracy in this one way.
That moves people from the rural to the big city, and that's all. That's a big boost of productivity for some amount of time.
And when they get there, they're taken seriously. Jack Ma was riding a bicycle teaching English in his late 20s. He was
Mhm.
a poor guy,
So
not a society of credentialism.
right.
Or in America, it's way too much a credentialist society.